What's going on, y'all?
It's good. Bam.
Yeah, Mojo, you're 5 minutes early, bro. I guess first of all, let's do how are we? Are we 5 by 5? Y'all want to do a mic check real quick?
Yeah. Check 1 2 1 2.
Bam. What's up? Am I too loud? All right, let me stop whispering. Am I too loud, y'all?
How's it that your whisper voice is louder than your talking voice?
Man, I got this. I bought this piece of equipment, man, and it's got lights on it and buttons and knobs, and like it's just doing crazy things. I don't know.
Tiger, Wizard, Lucid, what's going on, y'all? Monique, Stars, Pilgrim, Mojo, what's up, brother? Lucid, I'm going to say somebody's name at least 2-3 times. Spotted Fawn, what's going on? Adriana, hello. 5 by 5, right on. Kentucky, Survival, what's going on? Sophia, what's up? Ronnie, Prepping Mantis. We got a couple new names in here. What's going on, y'all?
I thought I was echoing or something. All right, echoing.
What's up, Yankee? Hello,
MJ.
I know, right? It's way past your bedtime, Hello. What's wrong with you? Awkward Texan, what's going on? Everybody, appreciate y'all for being here. I guess we're pretty much 2 minutes in. I guess let's go ahead and run this thing and see what we got.
Yeah.
All right. So for anybody who is not aware, a couple of months ago, there was an idea, a community idea that was thrown out there. Go back and watch the videos. This one here is pretty much going to be the basics, the foundation of the charter and the membership requirements. We've got a country perspective and a city perspective, and then we've got all you people in the chat that can pitch in your ideas, comments, and concerns, and we'll roll from there. I've got about 15 pages worth of stuff that we can go through. You know, we got the guys to talk, we got y'all to talk, so that's pretty much what we're doing, guys.
Is he the country perspective and I'm the city perspective?
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay. All right. I'll try. All right.
All right. What's going on, everybody, that I missed? Okay. I'm going to try to do this in some kind of organized fashion. Okay. So what I've got with first is pretty much MAC. Mutual Assistance Community is kind of what we're going with. It's going to be set up in a club type faction, almost like a car club, motorcycle club, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, one of those kind of deals. The hierarchy would include a president, a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary, and a constable. You know, these are just for lack of a better term names, but that is the 5 council members that will be a voted on position. Everybody good so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. The president's job is to oversee the public relations of the community, i.e. bank transactions. He's the one that makes sure that the bills for the community get paid, the taxes, you know, the public interactions, anything like that. If any businesses or any things like that come of it, the president is pretty much the PR guy of the community. Good?
I disagree.
Well, speak on it, son.
Here we go.
Well, you don't need your head guy in charge to be the one to be speaking on things, because that looks too clannish. You know what I mean? And I don't mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks too, trying to think of the right word to use. Basically, you want a specific PR guy. You want a guy that's what he does. He focuses.
The president title is just title in name alone. Everybody in council has an equal amount of weight in a different job. You know what I mean? So like I said, it doesn't have to be a title of president. It can be something else, but that's, you know, pretty much he would be the PR person, if that made any sense.
So he would converse with all the thinkers, and then he would he would bring the ideas and the direction to the mass, the people, the group.
Kind of, sort of. Because, like I said, there would be 5 of them, and it would have to be, you know, everything would be an equal vote and voted on.
Yeah.
Well, I just know from experience, it's best to have a spokesperson. You know what I'm saying? That is a straight up, you know, spokesperson that he meets with the ones kind of in charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he is the one who is the PR, the spokesperson. He's the person that that handles it per conversation with the head council. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I and the PR person, really, it shouldn't be, in my opinion, shouldn't be someone of power. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't yeah, head dude don't need to be in public, too easy of a target. That's another valid point. There is, you want a specific person that does not have the authority that, you know, your council has, and he needs to be a good speaker, or she, you know, needs to be a good speaker, and you know, goes off of, you know, what the, you know, because if you get a, all right, so if you get a president out there, let's just say you get one of the council out there, and that person's like, yeah, you know, and I'll tell you what, if y'all come up here and we're going to start knocking heads, you know, man, everybody might be like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Now you've got this council that everybody's kind of equal, you know. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of like, but now if you have a PR person, a regular guy or girl, either one, that doesn't have quite the authority, they say something, start to say something wrong, you know what I'm saying? You can pull them back. You can be like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
somebody in power, somebody with authority is not going to be as quick to listen if somebody goes, hey, don't, hey man, don't say that, you know.
Right.
That's just kind of my opinion on that, you know. I think you want a specific PR person that doesn't quite have the authority the council has, but they sit in on meetings, and you know, you hold meetings to say, hey, you know, if this question is asked or whatever, this
Yeah.
is how you answer this question, you know.
Got you.
Hey, can I say something? Hey, I'm gonna be the bad guy in this one. Hey, I'm just saying, if I'm the city guy, I'm gonna be the bad guy in this one. So I'm just gonna tell you. So right now, from the start, this sounds too much like what if this thing is created, it sounds too much like what we just had and didn't work. So I'm gonna be kind of suspicious about rebuilding the same thing that we had with the president and the spokesperson, public relations, marketing. I'm gonna roll with it, but I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have 1 foot in and I'm gonna have 1 foot ready to just get the hell up out of there.
Right. See, that's why we're doing this. That way we can find, you know what I mean? That's
damn right.
Don't come in it too paranoid because we're trying to dial it in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get stuck on the title of president and vice president. That don't mean shit. You know what I mean? It can be changed to dude number 1, dude number 2. You know what I mean? That's
just how the city folks gonna be. They're gonna be like, I'm listening. I'm listening and watching, but this shit sounds familiar. Yeah.
All right. So while we're on that, then
I'll say that.
what do you guys believe that the authority of the president should be? What should his assigned job be? Council has to have an assigned job. What do you believe the president should be? Would that remain as he is the person who deals with the bank and make sure that the bills are paid, or will that go to the treasurer? Like I said, I've still got some other stuff down here. If you guys want to move on from just the one and then mix it up from there, however you want to do it.
I'm with you.
There has,
yeah. Okay, so just like I just said, like it's sounding too familiar from what we just had, and you know what just drove us to where we're at right now. But then again, to be honest with you, yeah, I think so. I think he should get all the information from the people who has the information, and I feel like he should be like PR. Sorry, y'all. I feel like he should be PR and deal with those things. Yeah, Deanne. Yes.
Okay, well, now that we've established what the president is not, what is the president to do? Let's go in that direction.
Well, see all right. So I know I can see where Josh is coming from. First off, and you know people are going to be leery of this thing, this whole presidents and so forth. But I think that people need to also understand that if you don't have some type of leadership, it's just whatever. We got a community garden over there, and I decided I don't want to get up for 3 or 4 days and work in the garden. And then I go out there late tonight while everybody else is asleep and pick me a few veggies out of there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there has to be some type of leadership, or you just got chaos. You just got a bunch of people doing what they want. So they're
you got to look at it too. Let me just put this into perspective. That way we don't waste time and keep doing circling and shit on the hypotheticals and what ifs. To be in a club like this mutual assistance club, this community, you have to be willing to have that mindset. If you're leery, I don't give 2 fucks about you. The only people we're focused on is the people who actually want to make this concept a reality.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that's what we're focused on now. Anything after that is an afterthought, because if they're leery to be in it in the first place, then there's millions of people out there that would gladly do it. You know what I'm saying? Just for time's sake.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I get it. You
see,
have
like,
to,
my bad. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying you have to have people that are going to come in with the understanding of, look, I want to have a good, secure location with some like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be leaders, and if you're not a leader, you've got to be willing and understanding of that you're still part of the community, which everybody is equally important. There's not one person that comes into this that is not as important. Maybe Josh can't shoot as good as I can, or maybe he shoots better than I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting I'm just getting at the point that each one of us have a good something to bring to it, and we have to people have to be understanding of there has to be a leadership role, and you have to be able to follow the rules.
Yeah.
You have to understand too, if from the legal aspect, to be a recognized club, to be a 501c charitable nonprofit organization or anything like that, for a person, for it to be like, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. We got a lot of shit to do. A lot of you guys in the chat, calm your motherfucking asses down. We'll get there. Okay, y'all are getting ahead of yourselves. One thing at a time. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep bouncing back to 10,000 different things and theories and what's going to happen. We need to figure it out. That's what we're here for. So y'all calm down. We'll, you know what I'm saying? We'll get. I got 15 pages of shit, y'all. Calm down. Calm down. But if you want to have it set up to where not a single person owns the land, but the club owns the land, you have to have leadership, plain and simple. There is no way around it. And that's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
TH2. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? Sophia, let me go ahead and answer some of these questions that I've seen in here. Right now, we were talking about the community idea. There is no set number of people. There is no set amount of land. There is no amenities or anything. We're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about the bylaws, the charter, and the membership requirements. Next week, we will be getting into, you know, the necessities. What do we need first? Blah, blah, blah. And so that'll be next week. Today is just bylaws, the simple blueprint. That way everybody's got a starting point and they know what, you know, they know where the base is.
Gotcha.
You know, it's pointless to be like, okay, we're going to have 60 spots on 27 acres and then we're going to make it. You know, we got to make the rules and the bylaws before we get into the, you know, it's a process. It can't happen overnight. You know? If it's going to work, it has to actually be thought out and take some time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 15 minutes later, what should be the job of the president?
Well, I mean, there has to be a final say-so from somewhere. You know, the president's going to have to be the one to make, you know, let's say, you know, I think the council should be an even number with the president being the odd. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, see, that's the thing is you've got to have a certain amount of people to take care of a certain amount of jobs, and you don't want to overload people with the responsibility. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, we've got 5 spots now. That way, there will never be a tie vote. Because I don't like the concept of one person have a final say on shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's separated by job. Here, let me go through the list real quick, and then we'll, you know what I'm saying, we'll tear it apart from there. That might make it a little bit easier. Cool beans. Okay, so the vice president is to oversee the progress of the livestock and the crops. You know, he's the one, if you've got a problem, hey, we need stuff for this fence, you know, this fence fell down, this animal needs vet stuff, then the vice president is the one who is overcharge of the upkeep of the food production, pretty much. Got it? Okay. And the treasurer is to oversee all the dues that are owed, all the income and money, all the money that's going out, you know, obviously 100% record keeping, open to every member.
Bro, I'm tired of bills. I'm tired of bills. No, I'm just bullshit. Go ahead, bro. You got it.
The secretary is to oversee the community food supplies and any and all dry goods, you know, lumber, building supplies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The constable, you know, all these things, for lack of a better term, is to oversee the civility of the community and is in charge with upkeep of the, you know, the appearance, the landscaping of the community areas. You know, he's the one that, hey, this tree's about to fall on my house. You'll go chop a tree. Hey, you know, we need the yards mowed. This gets mowed, you know, in the community area. And of course, he's the one in charge of, hey, you're acting stupid. You know, I can put you back on your lot and tell you to keep your ass there. You know, basically the cop of the group. Gotcha. So that's what we've got for that. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Yeah, the HOA, Ohio. Cut your grass. The hell? No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm listening.
The constable would be in charge of enforcing the laws as it is written right now. That just seems like a logical conclusion. Like he'd be in charge. Like if you have 20 people on the property, you know, and he can like deputize like 2 people, like, hey, somebody gets drunk, starts a fight, take care of that shit. You know, if somebody steals from somebody, you know, you go hem this person up until we figure out, you know, just the responsibilities of keeping shit civil. Fuck Joe Biden. Yes, the bylaws are subject to change.
They have to be subject to change.
Please.
See, that's the thing. So, is everybody is there anything that anybody wants to talk about the positions of the council? Chat panel. Now's the time to speak up. That's what we're here for, is to dial this stuff in.
So we're gonna vote these people into office because no assholes.
Yes, everything will be like I said. We'll get into that on the next page.
Okay.
Everything in elected positions.
Gotcha. So far, so good.
Yeah. Sherry Lynch, we will get to that in a second.
I'll be the judge. No.
Well, I'm not talking about a community of 3. I'm talking about a community of at least 20. You know, a real community, not just a bunch of friends like, hey, let's just buy some land together. You know what I mean? Dane, we're trying to make it a real thing, maybe, or at least putting the idea out there so somebody can make it a real thing. You never know. You never know.
Well, one of the things, Lucky, is that, you know, so many people keep talking about mags, and then the question, it always, I mean, several times when we talk about mags or we talk about any of this kind of stuff, people are like, how do we do this? How do I find a mag? How do I start a mag? How do I do this? You know, so that's kind of a part of the premise of why we're doing this is to sit down and show people, you know, you sit down and you discuss it, and we're acting as if we're trying to start the community, and you guys in chat are going to be part of this, and that's why we're asking for y'all's input too, you know, as well, because this is the way you do a mag or start a mag, is you got to sit down and you got to have a baseline, and you've got to come up with bylaws, you've got to, you know, and yes, bylaws have to be subject to change, because you do not ever want to set something in stone that could be improved upon, you know. So yes, bylaws always, you know.
Yeah, there's amendments can be made at any given time. All right, for any of y'all just coming in, y'all are jumping way ahead of us, one question at a time. Let's calm it down. I got a lot of pages. Deal with the question at hand. We're trying to get it done. Don't jump ahead. What about this? What about this? Wait till it comes up. Deal with the question at hand so we can actually, you know what I'm saying? Because some of these people are actually serious. Like, I've literally got over 100 emails of people asking me to keep doing this. So there's interest in it. So, you know, for the naysayers, just zip it. You know, shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth for 5 seconds so we can get it figured out. You know what I mean? I'd appreciate it. Okay, back to it, y'all. Everybody good on the understanding of the positions? Obviously, it can be changed, you know. Okay, so for the council positions, each office must be voted on every 2 years, and candidates must be full-time residents in good standing. That means all their dues have to be paid. They've got to actually be putting in the work, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Is that acceptable? Chat, panel, everybody good with that? Why are you laughing at me, man?
No, it's TH2.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Hey, all right. A position must have a majority community vote. If more than 3 persons are nominated for one position, one council position, then the sitting council must vote on a maximum of 3 nominees for that position to be nominated by the community. Does that make sense? Any issues with that?
No.
Sounds legit.
Okay. Any official position may be challenged if 1/3 of the eligible community seek an audit of that position. Like, say, hey, this dude's a piece of shit and he's not doing his job. If you can get enough people to sign it, then that person can be brought up for, you know, we'll say if substantial cause is given, a new election may take place. So your council will have, you know, accountability. So, you know, if you've got 20 people, you get, you know, 7 people, you can start the revote process if need be. Does that make sense? Everybody good on that so far?
Yes.
Questions, comments, concerns? Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Says all council members must have a minimum of 2 town hall meetings a month where the community has access to financial info and can air grievances and concerns. So in a council position, you must have a mandatory council meeting, you know, public council meeting to to answer for everything that you've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sound good? You good on all that stuff?
Not to throw anybody off, but hey, is this like Western days where like we all carry like pistols on our hips and stuff, like everywhere?
No, this is next year when we buy land and start moving people on.
But no pistols. We can't wear our pistols on our side everywhere we go.
I mean, you can if you want to. It's
all
America.
Right. Gotcha. All right.
I was gonna say I'm out then because I'm gonna be wearing my pistol. Hell, I'm just clearing brush and stuff down so back highway back here, and I wore my pistol. I've been wearing my pistol every day.
Right.
On the outside where everybody could see it.
Gotcha. Council meeting. No firearms. I'm just talking crap.
Yes, of course. Everything's voted on. 100%. Everything is voted on. Just because 1/3 brings up that they want, an audit against this council member, 1/2 or 51% still need to vote that person out. You know what I mean? The 1/3 just brings it up for consideration and to put it to the people. You know what I mean? That's transparency, accountability all the way around.
I think that's I think that's a good deal, and really and truly, I think if one thing that people here need to understand, if you move into a community like this, and you're like really trying to do this deal, I think it's going to be people who are going to want to do their job. You know what I'm saying? They're going to want to make this good, and I think if someone is not doing their job correctly, it's going to show pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to be a pretty fair and obvious deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're supposed to water the community garden all week, you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing this out there. If you're supposed to water the community garden all week and you go out there and the soil ain't been watered in 4 days, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty obvious. You know what I mean? These kind of things.
Accountability. Yes, sir. Yeah.
See, I understand that, John. There's a lot of people in here now who won't do it at all, and I understand it's not for everybody. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point.
And that's why I'm here right now, because legit in my head, I'm a nomad, wandering the countryside with my tent and my bug out bag. But I'm listening and I'm learning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I've got so far for the council. If anybody has any other suggestions or any other things that they would like to apply toward requirements for the council or whatever, leave it in the comments after the show, not in the chat, but in the comments. And I'll definitely look at them. And like I said, you guys also, if you got anything to add, let me know. I'll throw it on, and we'll keep dialing it in from there. Yeah. And if ain't nobody got no other pressing issues about the council positions, I guess we can move on to the membership stuff.
You did put a spokesperson in there, right?
No, because you guys never told me what the hell the job of the president should be.
He's the actor, bro. He's the actor. Yeah, he's gonna talk to the other mags when it's time for conflict or something like that.
What's going on, Flyer?
I'll just be rambling. Hey, but can I say this real quick? Just my idea. So seriously, like I was a little skeptical of mags, but I'm gonna tell you, look, after whatever happens that brings us to this point, people are going to be different. People are not going to be the same spoiled, live off the system. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be different. People are going to be looking for something to be a part of to get back to normalcy. So they'll probably really be looking forward to the structure, a structured group that is beneficial for you and everyone else. All right, I'll shut up.
What's going on, MJ? Yes, but we don't want to base it off the American government. Get that concept out of your head. This ain't got shit to do with American government. We ain't got no Senate. We ain't got no House. It ain't nothing like that. It's simple. These people do this job. You know, that's it. It's just in name alone is the only comparison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, you know, everything's voted on. Everything's transparent from what I've got so far.
Well,
obviously, there will be some additions that can be added on there before it's finalized.
I want to put this out here too, man. I want to go ahead and say this, because if you have any doubts, if you're going to be one that's going to question every single thing that goes on, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't ever question. I'm just saying, if you're going to be one of them busybody Karens that's going to question every single thing, that's going to be like, well, these people over here didn't do that, so how do I know y'all are going to do it, kind of thing, you know, then this is not for you. I'm just telling you, you're not set up yet for a mag, to be part of a mag, because, you know, it even goes back to, you know, when I met my wife. If I would have portrayed onto my wife what other women did to me, you know, how other women acted, I wouldn't have never been with her, because I would have never trusted her. You know, at some point, you either got to have trust or you don't. And if you cannot trust at all, if you have zero trust, a mag is not for you. A community is not for you. You know, and that's the whole thing is, you know, yes, we can go and look at all the presidents. We can talk about that all night long, and what, you know, our Congress and all that shit's did. We're not talking about them people. We're not talking about a community that's going to be run by money, as in, you know, well, I'm the president, I'm getting paid, you know, $600,000 a year to be a president, you know, and I'm gonna do everything. No, you're not going to get paid to be a leader. Okay, you're not getting paid. Zero, zilch, nada. You do this shit because you want it to happen. And, you know, everybody's always said, take the money out of politics and you'll get some real honest folks in there all of a sudden. So, you know, there's no money in this. The only money that's going to be transferred has to do with, it affects me just as much as it does Hutch. It affects Hutch just as much as it does Josh. You know, people need to understand this thing. We're not talking about, you know, you're going to be paying, you know, dues to pay a president and a vice president. These people are not going to be getting paid. That is a bad idea. I will not be a part of that. If there is no money involved in anything, you are doing this because you believe in it and you are good at it and you want it to happen. So let's stick with that, please.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. And on that pleasant note, I agree 10,000%, brother. 10,000%. All right. On to the membership thing. Like I said, if anybody's got anything they want to add about the council requirements, put them in the comments, not the chat, in the comments, and I'll get to them. Or you can email me, and you know, either way, I'll look at them and we'll keep dialing it in. Okay, moving on to membership requirements. I've got a lot more membership requirements than I do council requirements, because obviously it's just makes more fun. But okay, so what we've got first is applicant must fill out, an application must be filled out and voted on by the council. It's not going to be, it's not like a background check or, you know, your last, you know, 3 freaking addresses or anything like that. It's just something simple like, you know, what do you like doing? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Do you like garden? You know, that kind of, you know, pertaining to the community. Good. Application process seemed like a decent idea there. Voted on the council. Okay, yes. And then if the council approves, then a community vote must happen, and there can be caveats made to where the person applying for membership has to spend like a weekend or something on the property. That way they can get to know and see if personalities mesh. You know, that could be an option. But either way, after the council votes and approves it, the community still has to vote to approve that person to come into the community. You know what I mean? To be a member. Everybody good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, see, this is the part that gets tricky. A lot of you guys are going to get your feelings, but it's just part of the process. And shit don't happen for free. If accepted, then a minimum fee of blank, I don't have it yet because we're not there yet, is to be collected, and then a lot assigned that would be your property. Members must read, agree, and sign a membership contract before being allowed full membership. That's basically saying, hey, I understand the bylaws and I acknowledge the authority, of the people who have been voted in. One of those kind of things. Comments, questions, concerns?
What kind of fee, brother? What kind of fee? I don't have any money.
Well, see, that's what we got to work on. That will be filled in based on, because see, each place is going to be different. Like if I buy land here in Missouri, it's going to be different than if I buy land in Texas. So it's going to be based on, like, next week we'll get into that farther, like how many people per per piece of land and things like that. Because well, the way I've got it up, I've got some pictures on here of 40 acres. That 40 acres is $77,000. So, in a reality type situation, you need $100,000 starting point to figure out roughly 40 acres. That gives you your land bought and paid for,
Gotcha.
all your closing costs and everything taken care of, and then that leaves you a certain amount of money to do your well, to do your infrastructure, to do your septic pond, to get your basic infrastructure.
I'm with you.
That next week, but until we actually figure out what the infrastructure is going to be, the price is, it's still negotiable. Is it going to be 10 people? Then that price is going to be, $15,000 per person. If it's going to be 20 people, then that price could be $5,000 per person. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
That's just one of the things that we got to fine tune.
Gotcha.
But there's got to be an entry fee. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I leave, do I get this back? Do I get a percentage back if I leave?
Not.
Do I get anything?
Nothing.
Bro,
You get a swift kick in the ass and a gun pointed at you till you leave the property.
wait, man.
You got to look at it like this. Like, it's in here farther what you're talking about, but it's.
Okay.
I'll get to it in a second.
All right, I'm with you.
Does that make sense so far? What I just said? Oh, go ahead.
Well, something you got to understand too on this fee. When you own land, you don't really own it. You got to fucking pay taxes on the shit.
Yep.
So you got to understand that it's there's going to have to be certain things involved, to make sure that, because I wouldn't want, let's say, just because us three are on the panel, let's say Hutch defaults on his taxes.
Okay. Wait, we're paying taxes, bro?
Dude,
you got to pay property tax. See, that's in here. I got that in here too. That's a part of the dues.
I'm talking about government shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
You're going to have to pay property taxes on the land. If Hutch defaults, if there's not that fee, that fee to keep the the things like the taxes up, paid, because we don't need Hutch defaulting on his. And you know what that means? That means Backwoods and Josh has got to come up with extra money.
Gotcha.
We don't want to lose all of our shit. So everybody has to, have that fee in hand, to
I got you.
Take care of these kind of things. You know what I'm saying?
So in a sense, we're still held accountable by the external government to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I got you. I'm with you.
Unless we build a warrior clan and we're ready to battle that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I'm down. Let's do it. Let's build that community. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But until then, the taxpayers got to get his pockets full. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Well, hold on. I want to. All right. So.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So, how is the community earning money? Well, how do you earn money now? How do you pay your bills now? I mean, this is not, people are going to work. I mean, just like you would, because this is your lifestyle. This is your land. This is, This is something you're buying into to be, you know, a more self-sufficient type, because you're going to have vegetables, you're going to have cattle, you know, you're going to work on getting these things so that
Yeah.
you don't have to work as much in the
Yeah.
corporate market, as much so as, you
Yes.
know, you're going to have more time to spend on your land and at home with your family and with the community, because you know you work until you get that process met, you know what I'm saying, to where you are pretty much self-sustainable, you know. How are you going
Yeah.
to pay taxes when the economy falls? Well, how are you going to pay taxes when the economy falls
Yeah.
when you're by yourself?
Right.
How are you going to pay your taxes? How are you going to pay your bills? I
Yeah.
mean, these are all, I understand they're legitimate questions, but at the same time,
Right.
I'm just going to throw it right back on you: is how are you going to pay? You know, if society breaks down tomorrow, how are you going to pay your bills?
If society breaks down, they can kiss
Yeah.
my ass. No, but I hear you. I hear what you're saying though.
But see, that's what I'm getting at. If you have a community like this that you can work on being self-sustaining, to where you've got a group of people that want the same thing, you know, to survive.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, we all got family, we all want to live, we all want to survive. You know, so
Absolutely.
these are, you know, obviously these are honest questions, but
It is.
at the same time, it's a lot easier to survive something when there's 15 of us that have the same goal in mind, and we're all right there together, than
Yeah.
it is by yourself. You know,
Yes.
I mean, many of the experts out there have said lone wolf is not the way to go.
Right. Agreed. It's much more comfortable in the mag. Yes.
Y'all are getting ahead of yourselves in the chat. Calm down. We'll deal with it when we get there.
Man, they're all over the place.
I'm not bitching at anybody. I'm just saying that's why shit don't get done, because y'all can't stay on fucking target. This is what we're talking about. Well, what about this? What about? We'll get to it. Calm down. You can't get shit if 10,000 people are asking 10,000 different questions when the person hosting the shit is saying this is the question. I'm just saying, y'all. If it ain't for you, dip out. Y'all wasting everybody's time. I'm just saying.
All right, I'll be good. I'm sorry. I'll stay on track.
No, y'all are good. I'm just saying. I've said it like 4 times, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't for you, cool. We're trying to figure it out. Let's figure it out. Quit hating on the process. This could be, you know what I'm saying? It could be something. I'm just saying. Okay. We're back to member must stay in good standing by paying a one-time entry fee and a once-a-year community tax. This due is not to exceed the cost of property tax plus 15% divided by every member on the property. So if there's 10 people, it's getting split up by 10. And then if up to 15%, it could be 5%, it could be 10% on top of what the, you know what I mean? And then that percentage would go into a community holding for maintenance and other things. So property tax is paid, plus you've got a little bit of maintenance, just a once a year fee, you know what I'm saying? Especially like in Missouri, you know, it's not going to be more than $200-300 for a year. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can do
Press 1.
I ain't trying to come off like a dick, y'all. I'm just saying I spent so much time on this. All you negative Nancy's in the chat are pissing me off. I'm just saying.
I appreciate you guys.
When it comes to membership dues that are non-monetary, each member or lot, you know, depending on, you know, if you got one person on a lot, then, or if you've got 4 people on a lot, you know, some kids and stuff, like you're a judge, you know what I'm saying? We'll have a required job or amount of time dedicated to community, you know, i.e. ranch hand, cook, babysitter, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Is that acceptable?
Yep.
A community member's job shall be based on physical ability, interest, and availability of job. Job requirements shall be agreed upon before access to full membership. So before you actually put your money up, you've got an idea or almost a guarantee of what you're going to be doing for that community. That way you can't get in there and be like, oh, I didn't want to do this job, I'm going to leave. You know, well, you knew what you were going to do before you paid them.
I hate this shit. Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can be moved and things like that, but you know, for the most part, you're going to know exactly what's going to be required of you before you actually put your money down. Makes sense.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And again, that can be by person or by lot. Say you got a husband and wife, but they want to do different things. Okay, then husband does this job, wife does this job. If they both want to do the same thing, okay, then this lot has a required amount of effort to put in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can, if anybody's interested in the notes that I've got written down, like I said, I got 15 freaking pages here, but if you're interested, I can screenshot them. Just hit me up with an email and I can email them to you. That would probably be the easiest way. Yep. Okay. So membership price is for up to 2 adults. Any persons more than 2 shall, for under the age of 17, shall pay $500 per person to be on that lot. Any person above 18 years is $1,500. So if you're bringing somebody into your place, so like you get 2 free for, say it's $5,000 for the community fee. So it's $5,000 for a dude and his wife. If you want to bring your kids, then figure $500 per kid. If you want to bring your grown ass kid, you're figuring $1,500.
This is per what? Or this is a one-time fee? Or
Yes.
per what?
This is the one-time entry fee.
Okay.
I'm saying, obviously, I mean, the numbers can change based on area and inflation and blah, 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 but that's just kind of like a rough concept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are some states that you can prepay taxes. So let's say taxes are whatever, you know, $100 a year. You know what I'm saying? And just with the way things are going, you do know that taxes are, you know, always go up, it seems. So, you know, there are some states, not all states, but there are some states that will allow you to say, yeah, that $100, right? You pay 10 years up front, and that locks you in for that 10 years. It don't matter if it goes up to $200 next year. You don't have to pay that extra money. You have locked it in. But see, people don't do that. People don't research that. They don't know about that.
Tell that to Texas.
Hey, Texas is number 3 right now.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm seeing a couple questions here.
Sophia, is that a possibility with this community? Well, I mean, if the state allows that, see, that's the problem is people, you know, we want to get away from the government as much as possible, but there are certain things that you're going to have to do, or you're going to end up like Waco or, you know, these Branch Davidian type people, you know what I'm saying, with that, where the FBI's and all that are breathing down your neck. So there are certain things that you're going to have to do if you want to keep this place. You know what I'm trying to say, that you know,
yep,
out of the eyes of the real terrorist, the government.
Right. Yep.
So, you know, you're going to have to pay taxes. You're going to have an education system, you know, set up to where you can homeschool, but you know, it's going to
calm down. That's next week. We're not there yet. What are you doing? Why are you jumping the gun, bro? Come on, man. Come on, man.
I was like, this is juicy. Listening.
Put the cart before the horse, man.
Sorry.
Okay, back to it. Any persons above the age of 21 must submit an application, read, sign, and agree to the community, go through the whole process. So even if you want to stay on somebody else's lot with your parents, you still have to go through the approval process. Because, I mean, some of your kids are assholes, and we just don't want them around, plain and simple. So, I mean, they're grown, so they have to go through the grown-up process, plain and simple. Makes sense. Understandable. Is that good?
Yes.
That's for kids of age.
Yeah, 21 and over. Like 18 to 21 is pretty much the grace period. But after you know, after 21, you're grown. You know, pay your bills with that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Good job.
Okay, that I will do next week. Okay, when it comes to the property, now the concept of the property is you will pay your initial one-time entry fee. That'll be your, for conversation's sake, $5,000.
Right.
With that $5,000, you buy membership into the MAC, Mutual Assistance Community. You get there will be different size pieces of land that you can kind of choose from based on how many people you have with you. But you do not own this land. But as long as you stay in good standing with your membership, you own this land until you die. You know, you and your spouse. If it's two people, you know, then when your spouse dies. Now, you can pass this membership down in your will, but if you pass it down, the person you're passing it down to must go through the entire fee process and start that whole thing over again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Hey, so Hutch, so if you got big dollars behind you, you can get like a couple acres. You know what I'm saying? You get like the big plot over there, bigger than everybody else's if you got the dollars, or is this kind of like it's
pretty much.
You know, we're all kind of, you know, keeping it reasonable. Everybody kind of has the same type deal. You know what I mean?
Well, it's going to be like the job requirements and things like that. The amount of work's not going to change. So even if you come in and you're like, okay, we're selling half-acre lots, you know, quarter-acre lots.
Okay.
A quarter acre is not big enough. I want a full acre. Then you're buying 4 lots at that membership price. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it goes. That's what the membership is for you to rent that piece of land until you die. So if you want an acre, as long as you're paying the money, you're good to go. But just know that with that acre, or with your, you know, taking the spot of other potential people, you might be adding on more work to yourself. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You just figure the more land you've got, the more the bills are going to go up. So instead of, you know, if one person owns a whole acre instead of 4 people, that's 3 less people to help pay your tax dues once a year. You know what I mean? So you have to think of it that way.
I'm just thinking, you know me, man. I'm the city. I'm the city. So if a tycoon comes in and is like, hey, look, I want 20 of those acres. You know what I'm saying? I got the money, and then, you know, they get the spot, and they're like, I ain't gonna work it. I can pay other people to work it.
Oh no, you can't do that, because he still have to go through the approval process. You know,
gotcha.
I'm gonna say
all these things need to be established before they put their money down.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna say that there should actually be, you know, a set amount that you can't come in and purchase 15 lots and then just be like, nah, I'm gonna just, you know, chill and let it grow up, you know, because it's not about that. It's about, this is about coming in and having a community that is safe, that's going to be well protected, that is, I'm just saying.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not like we're trying to come in and have 3 or 4 people that are lazy and not want to do anything. No, because we're going to have like community garden, community cows.
Yeah.
You know,
and see, that's part of the bylaws too. When you sign the membership, you agree to put in that work. So you can't be lazy. Because if you are lazy, like if that's in here too, if you're lazy for a certain amount of time, kick rocks.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. You can't buy your way out of everything and just be happy. That's cool.
Yeah, this is not going to be a money thing. That's just exactly like I was talking about with the.
Ain't nobody making a cent off of this damn thing. Everything done here is voluntary for the greater good. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But
that's why it's a club. It's got to be like-minded individuals to actually commit to something like this.
It's not going to be where you're making any money, but you will be saving money. because we will be doing this stuff on our own, you know.
Right. Simpler life, better life.
This land could be anywhere. Okay, let me do the rundown one more time so you get some more people in here. Basically, we're trying to create a community idea. We don't have a set number of people yet. We don't have a set amount of land yet. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we're figuring out bylaws and membership requirements. Basically, the concept is here in Missouri is how I'm basing my all of my design and logic and everything that's come along with it. But this is for literally anybody. If any other creator, anybody in the chat wants to steal any of the things that we're saying and implement this somewhere else with 200 people or 5 people, take it and do it. You know, the more communities we have, the better. This is just, actually trying to dial it in to see, everybody talks about it. We're just trying to be serious about it and see what it would take to make it happen. So that's the rundown we got right there.
Your cricket's chirping again, Hutch.
Am I making funny noises? My mic acting funny? Okay, so sorry y'all, we keep going, squirrel.
Oh, you're good.
Memberships may be passed upon death, but new owner must restart the dues and contract process. Everybody okay with that? Because I know we had a lot of concern. Can I pass it to my kids? So we already took care of that.
Well, I think that, how about this? You know, if it, now let's say me and my wife and 2 children move in there. My kids are, early teenage years. They moved in, they're doing good, everything's happening, yada yada. They've shown to be a benefit to the community. I don't know necessarily that, if something happens to me and my wife and I say, well, I'm leaving this to my kids, because they're involved and they want to be involved. I don't know necessarily that they should have to go through the whole process again, because they have already been a part of this community for a set amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Just like
But see, the way it's set up, see, that's what can be fine-tuned is how that would work. Say there might be a clause to where you could pay a little extra to pass it down for so many generations. But, it's, like I said, you're buying the membership. So if your kid really wants it, then they should be willing, and able to actually to do the membership. But it can be fine-tuned. I hear what you're saying, because I was debating on that earlier.
Oh, they don't like the will. Hey, the chat does not like the will.
All right, guys, hit me then. What are y'all thinking? That's
like
what
negative.
we're doing, bro.
Negative.
It needs to be rigid, like a hard pass down. So all the membership rules apply. Like, so what? Take out the fee, but they've still got to. Because regardless, if you're going to live there, you have to sign the agreement saying that you understand and acknowledge the authority of the council and all the rules of the thing. Because if you don't do that, then you can't be a member, plain and simple. Because it's counterproductive. I could see getting rid of the fee, but as far as you're still going to have to sign it.
At the end,
Calm down, Jennifer. You're killing me. You're killing me.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. The potential is there. If we start one in Missouri, you start one in Texas, someone starts one in Tennessee. All these communities under the same bylaws, under the same, leading force, whatever it is, think of the trade routes and the supplies you can get between the two. Imagine if there was 20 in every state, we got to get one figured out before we get 1,000 figured out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Deanne, it was 85 degrees today in Texas or in Dallas. 85 degrees. All right, I'm sorry, y'all.
That's good. So, I'm not seeing anything. What are y'all thinking on this will situation?
Hey. I mean, I think there should be an option. If you've invested that much, somebody said blood, sweat, and tears in the land. If you've invested that much, there should be something. I just don't know to what extent. You know what I mean?
But it's not the child's membership. It's the parent's membership.
True. Yeah. Hey, Deanne, there's always going to be some misfits.
Oh, yeah. That would be the club itself. That's why it's going to be set up as a club. That way the club itself owns the property and everything. That way no one person owns everything.
I can't wait. I can't wait until we get into like the and I know this is for a later time, but like our court system and all that other stuff. I can't wait till we get into that.
I understand that, Gmo Markle, but not necessarily, because you're not buying a homestead. You're buying a membership into a club. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an inherited thing. If you want something for your kids to have, buy the land next door and own your own property and then pass that shit down. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm on at. Like I said, it can be fine-tuned. It can be switched around.
But see, that's you had to pay for the child to be there to begin with. So, you know, to me, it would just, it would seem like if the child grew up there and the child wants to stay, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a automatic, what is a ghetto said, grandfathered in, you know what I mean? Kind of a.
But how long does that extend? Does that extend indefinitely until somebody does something to get their membership revoked? Because there has to be a process. Just because you're somebody's kid doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? The community has to want you there, plain and simple. They have to want you to be a member. So being grandfathered in really doesn't hold a whole lot of weight if 70% of the people hate you. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're the parents and you own this plot, you've been working it and investing in it, and you do plan on passing it down to your kids, then at some point you're like, hey, look, you're going to have to apply for membership here. When, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're letting them know these are the rules. This is what you need to do. It's going to be up to you when I'm not here anymore. So right. I guess maybe it's legit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it. Yeah.
Because I mean, on one hand, you got to think the parents got to be responsible for telling their child, if you want to maintain this and take this over, then you got this process that you have to do.
Right.
That way you know that you've got this coming. You know what I mean? I could see both sides of it, but it, like I said, it comes down to the community. If nobody likes it, grandfathered in don't mean a damn thing.
Yeah, it will keep the sanctity of the mag too. Also, I mean, kind of, you know, if
right. But on that, I've got all structures must be able to be moved or easily removed. Since you technically do not own the property and you're only there as long as you're a member, it's got to be able to be moved. Like here, if a member is not in good standing for an agreed amount of time, then membership may be revoked and said member shall be trespassed. If member is trespassed, said member will have no more than 60 days to clear off the lot and remove any and all property. At day 61, property left becomes community resources and new membership becomes available for that lot.
Get out.
So basically, nothing's going to be huge. Figure a 100 by 100 lot is pretty much going to be the biggest lot available, kind of sort of, you know, that's a quarter acre. So it's basically tiny houses and, you know, build whatever you want. If you want to dig a hole in the ground and live in a hole in the ground, do you know what I mean? But if you get kicked out, you've got 60 days to move your house or whatever it is that you've put on that property. Makes sense? So if you're going the tiny house route or a single wide trailer, it's not an issue because you can hook a truck up to it and get it out of there. But after 60 days, if it's still there, it's, you know, it becomes community property. So it's, you know, you only commit as much as you're willing to lose, pretty much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Talk to me, backwoods.
Well, I'm just trying to think on all of it. You know, it's you know the whole concept. You know, you have to understand that. You know, I mean, people are still asking, what about property taxes and so forth? You know, you're going to have to pay property taxes regardless.
You're not going to get away from it. It's a mandatory thing.
And so the property taxes, you know, are just going to have to be, you know, because people are going to work. I mean, this is not necessarily saying this is a community where you go and you sit at home and you know, go out and feed a cow and plant a tomato plant. I mean, you know, you got to buy the seeds, you got to buy the cows, you got to, you know, so people are, you know, it's not really like your lifestyle per se is changing a whole lot, except for you're buying into a club of like-minded people that live in the same immediate area, you know, because see, that's one of the things, like with today, like my mag group, man, one guy lives 2.5 hours away from me. You know, if something goes down, I mean, damn, that's, you know, that's if he can drop what he's doing immediately and come this way. He's 2.5 hours away, you know. I mean, another guy 3 hours away, you know, one guy's 1.5 hours away, you know. This is going to be something that it's going to be, you're together. It's right there. You see, you know, there's Hutch's house. There's Just Josh's house, you know, there's Sophia's house right there. You know, it's, you know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're buying into a system of like-minded individuals that, you know, Just Josh gets married, has a baby. Just Josh's old lady has a baby, not Just Josh.
What?
Unless it's that new AI stuff, and he's transitioned. But just saying,
oh hell no.
maybe you know the kid, you know, Josh has to go somewhere, and the kid, you know, needs a babysitter. You know what I'm saying? There's the community there. All this stuff would be present. You know. Anyway, I'm just seeing people in the chat. You know, is, you know, what about this? What about that? I mean, your lifestyle's not going to change a whole lot as far as it goes for your normal paying bills and all that good stuff. You've got, I mean, you got to pay bills. This is not utopia, you know. Shit don't come for free. You got to work. You got to, it's, you know, but the thing you got to understand is it's about building a community to where there is a big community garden out there. You know, I might do, you know, your house, man, the faucet breaks, you know, the pipe underneath the faucet breaks. Well, I do plumbing, you know, I come over there and fix it. You know, you know, we help each other. You know, it's not, I'm not going to, you know, you don't have to call a plumber and do $75 an hour just for the sumbitch to come out there. You know, that kind of thing. You want the kind of people on the properties to have, you know, people are going to have skill sets, man. You know, people know how to sew, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to head it all off, Hutch. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, it ain't doing no good. Everybody keeps asking the same question.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
I mean, some people wasting time. Some people asking stupid ass questions. I'm just saying. They say there ain't no such thing as a stupid ass question, but there really is. Because y'all don't want to listen. I'm just saying.
Guys, I'm trying to be more like Hutch. I really am.
Well, I just think that, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like the one real neighbor that I had just moved out because he had gotten another job, and he's you know, he's gone. And I've got a half-ass crazy old man across the street that, you know, got to take meds and shit. Got some people on this other side over here from Guatemala, and I mean, they're good people, they're good neighbors, but dude works out of town all the time. He's gone. So it's just a woman and a couple of kids. And then over here, it's an old lady, and then her grandson moved in, who's, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have anybody here anymore. You know, if shit goes down in my town, like I'm on this hill by myself. I would rather have a group of people around me to where shit does go down, we got each other's back. You know, we can do this fucking thing. You know what? There's a big ass community garden out there, man. We ain't got to worry about if snowpocalypse hits and you can't get eggs or vegetables from Wally World up there at your local store. You know, we've got it all right there. You know, it's right there in our community. We don't have to buy the shit because we grow it. We grow it year round. We grow chickens. We grow, you know, cows. We have a butcher shop in our own damn community, you know, and I'm just saying, man, it's, you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. I mean, that's cool, you know.
Yeah.
I just want something like that, you know. I like I've said in my videos before, when I go to ranting and shit, you know, god dang, beef is $7, $8, $9 a pound, and I can drive 10 minutes in any direction from my house. Any fucking direction I go, 10 minutes, there's cows everywhere. They're so close to me on this side over here, I can stand outside and hear them mooing. Why am I paying that kind of price for beef? Instead, we buy beef on the hook. We buy a whole cow. We buy a whole bunch of cows, and we slaughter them out and we divide the meat out. You know what I'm saying? We keep a process going.
Nice.
And yes, you got to work. Your life doesn't change. It's not a free for all. We're a utopia where money just...
This is, you know, 2023. You're still going to have to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? You're still going to have to do your stuff, send your kids to school, do all, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm going to be nice.
Man, I'm still eating my preps.
Stop it,
bacon jerky. Oh my God, this is delicious.
That's a good segue, because right here it says each member is required to have 3 months of food and water per person on their lot.
I just ate all mine.
And must have a minimum of a 3 square foot garden per person on lot, or 1 pair of livestock, you know, 2 chickens, 2 rabbits, etc. That way, not only is the community garden for the community, but you have enough to make it through the hard times, that you don't have to dip into the community supplies, and you've got a garden or, you know, critters to help, you know, take some of the burden. That's your own personal responsibility for yourself. You know what I mean? Is that something that is acceptable, or is that in the question? Do you think gardens should be required or no?
Sure. The more the merrier.
Is everybody good with that? Full-time members, you know, full-time residents must attend at least 1 community hall per month, and stay in good standing, obviously. But basically, you know, there's two town halls each month. Every member must participate in at least one, and every member must vote. Plain and simple. Everybody votes, no matter what. Any community vote, everybody votes. Plain and simple. You know.
Yep.
They got to shut the day down, but like, hey, we're voting today. Nobody's working. Everybody votes. That way, everybody has a voice. You know, there's no excuses.
Can we do mail-in voting?
We got no mailbox.
Hey, for the senior citizens that can't make it, you know what I'm saying?
So, are we good on all that stuff so far?
What about Medicaid? When's that coming in? I'm just playing.
This will go to it. Any member charged with breaking a bylaw shall be subject to trial and or sentencing by the council. You know, it could be something as much as, you know, say somebody gets drunk and goes out there and, you know, harasses somebody or some shit. Like, okay, you've got to go do this chore for them. You know what I'm saying? It can be it'll be fine tuned as far as what the sentencing is. You know what I mean? But there's got to be, you know, there will be a trial. You know what I'm saying? That way people can actually speak for themselves. That way evidence can be brought forth. You know what I mean? Everything's transparent. You know what I mean?
Hutch.
Does that work for y'all? Does that sound good? Y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me.
Good.
Any member nominated by 1/3 of the community for loss of membership shall have a council review. That way, each membership, you know, if you got 1/3 of the people pissed off at you, they can be like, hey, we don't want them here no more. And then it can be put up for a vote or a review. Good on that. Any member who has not been trespassed may apply. If you leave, like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, or, you know, life situations, I've got to go do this. If you leave and like, okay, I'm not a member anymore, as long as you left in good standing, you can come back in like 6 months. But if you get kicked out, trespassed, then you're pretty much done. You ain't coming back. Like if it comes to the process to where we've got, you know, 30 days and we're like, okay, we've got to evict you. That's the other 30 days, you know, to make up to 60. Like if we have to do the eviction process, you're done. We ain't never fucking with you ever again. One of those kind of situations. That work?
Yeah. Reaper, I really am saving for that. I really am. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
Oh, you good?
10 millimeter. I want one. I'm saving for
it. See? Grandma Markle, you're going to make me yell at you. I already know it ain't for you. You want a fucking mansion and 10,000 acres. It ain't for you, G-Ma. Okay, now this one, obviously we're going to need some input on this one. Members shall not have guests for more than 1 week consistently, and guests shall not leave community areas.
Wait, what?
A member shall not have a guest for more than 1 week, and guests shall not leave community areas. So say it's 40 acres, there's 5 acres of community area. The housing plus the community bathroom, blah, 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 park, whatever. If you have a guest that is not a member, they are not allowed outside of that community 5 acres. You know?
Bro.
They're not allowed to go to the fields. They're not allowed to go to the shops and the stores because it ain't nobody's business what's going on in there. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody like, hey, I got my cousins in for a month. And they're just going to hang out with me here, and they're just running all over the place, getting in, you know, messing with the livestock, messing with crops and shit. They ain't, you know, seeing things that ain't doing business. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Well, and I mean, and not to even mention, you know, that hell, you bring somebody and man, maybe you got to go to work the next day, and they're at home, they're at your house for that day, and you know, they go out and somebody, you know, just Josh ain't at home either. And, you know, the dude that's, you know, person that's staying with me, he goes over there and he's, you know, Josh pulls up and he's over there standing in Josh's garage, you know, like looking around and shit. You know what I'm saying? Josh is going to flip the fuck out, and I don't blame him. Yeah. You know, so yeah, you know, there has to be kind of some, because I mean, it wouldn't be any different than here, you know. I mean, if somebody comes here and stays right now, I mean, if I come outside and they're over there going through my neighbor's carport or some shit, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Right.
So I mean,
it's going to be a tight knit community. Even if there's 20 or 30 people, you're going to know every single person on that property, and it's going to, you know, you're going to have that adjustment to get used to them. Let alone like, oh, I got to deal with strangers just randomly popping up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a courtesy thing. You know what I mean?
Look, Reaper 10 millimeter, because a visitor is just a visitor. They don't have any standing there. That once they are told, it ain't no different than on your property right now. If somebody comes and just visiting or whatever, and you don't like whatever reason, you tell the person to leave. They've got to leave. You know, you just call the police on them and be like, hey man, this dude, he's flipped out. I want him gone. You know, I mean, They're
see,
not
that would
moving.
be the thing too, to where you'd have to put it in, like you said there. If you have them sign something, like you acknowledge that you're coming in here as a guest, and we're tired of seeing your face. If we have to remove you by force, you agree that we can do so. So if you come in here acting like an asshole, you're gonna get, you're gonna get some hands put on you. You know.
What it is.
Yeah, 2 weeks is too long. Yeah, that's way too long.
I still have no idea what Cherokee is saying.
Right.
Hell, even his smartphone is confused.
Oh man.
Okay. So we good on the guest situation? Is everybody happy with that? Other than the slow kid in there who wants people for 2 weeks. No, we ain't doing ain't nobody getting no background check. It ain't nobody's business. I will say though, the only thing I've got in here concerning that, there will be no background checks. I don't give two damns what you did in your past. But if it comes, people find out that you hid any kind of sexual charge at all, without question, you've gone on the fucking spot. That's the only. I don't care if you murdered 17 people. I don't give a damn if you robbed 37 gas stations. It don't mean a damn thing to me. Sex crimes is the only thing I will not tolerate.
Sounds good.
Okay. Members, well, see, it's going to come down. I guess we'll figure it out next week, but it's going to come down to the lot size, because I want to make it to where you can easily accommodate a 5-person family, on a lot big enough, or a lot small enough, like 25 by 25. Obviously they can be stretched in any kind of way, but that's square footage. To where, a lot of people just want to do that van life stuff. So if you only need a parking spot to park your van, but like, hey, I'm going to come over here when it's in the summertime, I'll hang out here. In the wintertime, I'm going to go down south and get away from this stuff. You won't be a full-time resident. That's something that we're going to have to fine tune and nitpick. But I'm sorry if I'm boring, y'all.
No.
Each member has a guaranteed lot and a place to shower, a place to eat, and a job. So basically, the community area will be there will be a community shower, because there will be a well, so we'll have a community shower and a community bathroom. That way, if you want to do the van life thing, or if you want to do a tiny house, you don't need a bathroom, because there will be a community bathroom that will be tied into a septic pond and all that. So that way, regardless, you've got your land. You can do whatever you want on inside of your lines, and there will be a shower and a shitter that you have access to 24 hours a day. That way, you guarantee those 3 things.
Hey, will there be a shitter in the house if you want it?
If you want to, whatever you do.
All right. Okay. All right.
Like me, like my house right now is a 12 by 32.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So unless I want to build off of it, to build a thing,
yeah.
Like if it was me by myself, like why would I do that when I can just go use the community thing? So it's kind of like it's kind of a money saver, infrastructure money saver.
Josh,
I was a Boy Scout. Yeah.
I love you, brother, but I'm not taking a shower with you, so don't be coming in there while I'm showering.
No, I hear you. Seriously, I am not trying to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have to run across the field to take a piss or shit, and Backwoods is in the next stall to me while I'm doing it, talking about what's up, just Josh. No, man, it's not happening.
Josh be like, fan, I'm hanging a wire. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, man, I'm not trying. Leave me alone. I just want to sit.
Okay, so everybody's good on the 3 guarantees. Place to sleep, place to wash your ass, and a place to use the bathroom. Okay, all harvested food after totaled shall be divided into 3 groups: 1 to the people, 2 to the stockpile, and 3 to sell. That way, each member gets a certain percentage of harvested food, crops, meat, etc. Like, here you go, this is yours. Do what you want. A certain amount is going to go into a community root cellar, for, you know, backup in hard times, community meals and things like that. Like, say if we're doing at each town hall, there's a required community meal. That would be, you know, the stuff that we use for that. You know, everybody sits around, eats. After everybody eats, boom, area grievances, something like that. You know what I mean? And then to sell would obviously be if we sell any beef, cows, crops, any food-related item, then that money will be split into two, and a certain percentage will go back into resupplying dry food stores, toilet papers, you know, canned goods, things like that that we can't produce ourselves. That way we can have a store of, you know, prepped food for, you know, community use, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other percentage would go toward the community fund for maintenance and things like that. That makes sense? Everybody good with that?
I am.
Yep. Ghetto, I'm going to cut you, man. That's from Community Gardens. I already said, anything that you do in your yard is your own shit. And boom, right here. No member is obligated to disclose how much food or preps they have or to share with any other member in the community. What you have on your lot is your shit. You know what I mean? You don't have, if you got 10 years worth of food, you can tell everybody you got 2 days worth of food. It ain't nobody's damn. You know what I mean? There's no share your preps shit.
So I can't just go and jump on your motorcycle?
I mean, you can if you want to catch a hot one in the ass. All stockpiled harvests shall be stored and used for community meals and emergency reserve. Profits from selling harvest must be split into two, blah, 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 blah. Everybody good with that? Anybody need any ideas or switches on that? That sound like good stuff.
Ohio Prepper said, I thought you have to have a 3-month supply. Yes, you have to have a 3-month supply. When you first come in, you have to show that you have 3 months worth of food. You don't have to show if you've got 2 years worth of food, you don't have to show all that. It's nobody's business. You just have to show, hey, I've at least got 3 months worth of food here. That's all you got to show.
See, look, y'all paying attention. Appreciate that. Damn right. Y'all are serious. That's right. Damn right.
I'm listening.
Right. So everybody's good with that.
Just because sometimes I ain't said nothing don't mean I ain't listening.
That's right. Hey, we're going to time this out perfectly. I got about 2 pages left, and then we can do whatever. Okay, now for just general bylaws. Member must remain in good standing. Any member not in good standing for 3 consecutive months shall be held for review. That means if you know, obviously the time frame can be different. No, Stars, the 3-month supply is for your property.
That's just an insurance to the community that should hit the fan tomorrow. We know for sure everybody here has 3 months worth of food. We know for sure that Stars is not, you know, sitting over there with no food storage and you know, his kids are hungry, or her, you know, your kids are hungry, and I'm waiting, you know, I'm sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning while Stars is breaking in my house to steal some of my food. You see what I'm getting at? It's your food that you bring is your stuff, but we're going to have community items as well.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's your skin in the game. Exactly.
All members must provide a reasonable amount of effort towards the longevity of the community. That means you know, as soon as you become a member, you know that you have certain physical obligations to the community, like whether it be a rancher, a farmer, a cook, you know, etc., a medic, you know, whatever. That just pretty much means, hey, you know, you're going to do something, otherwise you're going to go. All members must complete assigned social functions. That would be the town hall meetings, the votes. If it progresses into something to where there's community functions between other communities, you know, things like that can be get into. and you know, but that can be a later date. That's a possibility, Deanne.
6 months.
Yeah. See, I was thinking that, but if you've got a family of 5, then you've got to come up with 6 months, you know, per person. That could be cost prohibitive. Y'all know how expensive some of that shit is. You know what I mean? And 6 months worth of food takes up a lot of space.
Yeah.
You know, if you got 4 people, you're looking at 2 years worth of food that you just got to have constantly sitting there. If you got a small lot, you know what I mean? But it's, I don't know.
Hey,
Could
Hutch,
be.
what will be the name of the community? Arkansas Whoop Ass.
There is no name as of right now. Right now, I'm just calling it MAC, M-A-C,
Okay.
Mutual Assistance Community. You know, how big are the lots and how much is the buy-in? Yankee, I don't know, and I don't know. Tune in next week. Next week we're doing. Next Thursday we'll be doing the lot stuff and the you know, the more land stuff coming next week. Right now it's just the bylaws, but we'll get into that.
Gotcha.
It's not going to happen overnight, y'all. It's a process. See, that's one thing that we'll get into in a minute about the religion aspect of it. But okay, so background checks are not required, but member found to have sexual crime shall be trespassed immediately. We already went through that. No member shall steal from, harass, or assault another member. Common sense stuff. All members acknowledge and accept any and all decisions based on the outcome of a vote. I mean, you don't have to be happy with it, but it is what it is. You acknowledge that the voting system is there for a reason. So, you know, one of those kind of things. Everything good on that so far? Say, all members acknowledge the authority of council positions. That means if you want to be a part of this community, you have to acknowledge that the constable is in charge of the law and order. If he says you're acting stupid, you know, and or you've been passed a judgment, you know, you got to deal with it, or you know, get kicked out. One of those kind of things. All members acknowledge that membership does not mean ownership. You are renting that lot for the duration of your life. You're looking at it that way. You do not own it. You're just renting that spot. You know what I mean? So that's what I've got so far. There's a few other things.
I think that it's necessary to categorize it as you're renting the lot, because let's say someone decides, you know, let's just say someone decides to just lay down and just say, you know what, I'm fuck it, I ain't with the community shit, but I ain't leaving. Well, you know, if you owned the lot, then you could do that, and you're just then you end up with a neighborhood like mine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be a deal that you're buying into, that so that you have that right idea. You know, again, like I was talking about earlier with, you know, not, you know, people not getting paid to like being a leadership or things like that, because it has to be something that you are involved in, something that you truly desire to live in a community of what we've been talking about, of you know, where it's a community based deal, to where someone comes and tries to break in just Josh's house. Not only is he got to face just Josh, but he's probably going to be facing like 4 or 5 other, you know, we're right there, you know, and ain't nobody playing, you know, they will know, you know, people will know real quick not to come and mess around in that neighborhood, because everybody is together, you know. So, you know, if you have it to where you can buy the lot, and you know, you can just do what you want, and the legalities of what you're doing, you know, can affect the whole community.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you can, you know, you could, if you bought the lot, then hell, you could go in there and say, well, you know what? I decided that I own this lot and I'm going to rent this place out to whoever wants to rent it.
Right.
Well, then all of a sudden, you know, legally you can do that because you own it. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then if WOL happens or shift, you don't have to pay taxes anymore. I'm just saying.
Pretty much. And there are loopholes. Like in Missouri, I've looked into it myself. With a certain amount of land and a certain amount of production, you can apply for a homesteader rights, and then you either knock a giant chunk or completely void out your taxes. So there's loopholes around it. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all going to come down to each individual state and then down to each individual county. You know, that's why homework's got to be involved. You know, that's why shit needs to get dialed in.
yeah, that's a good way, Stuart. That's a good way to put that. Real quick, lease based on community rules. Pay your way, do the work, don't fuck up, and you'll live a good life. I mean, that's, you know, kind of the way it is, regardless. You know what I'm saying? But you have a even better life than like I'm saying, like here. You know, for me, you know, because now I've got people that think, you know, that want the same things that I want, you know, that live across the street, that live, or, you know, next door to me, that live there and live there and live there. And I don't have to, you know.
Yeah. And see, there's the potential of it is like it could be as small as 5 people. Like, okay, if this is a club, if this is a legally recognized club, then the potential, just like, I mean, because it's what I know, Hells Angels, Mongols, any motorcycle club can be spread out to different chapters throughout the country, throughout the world, under the same bylaws and the same charter. That way, any person in this community can go to this community knowing that they have the exact same standards and expectations from their visitors, from their members, from, you know, from the people who actually live there. So that's basically what it is shift insurance. Some people want the community to where they want the communal living. They wouldn't mind living in a bunkhouse, sharing everything, and just living off the land, just full-blown hippie style. You know what I mean? Some people just want, hey, I can't afford a bunker. I'm scared to death. You know, I'm a freaking fear junkie, and the world's going to end, so I want a bug out location as a just in case.
Yep.
And you pay your deal to get your parking spot or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And you go about your business until the world blows up, and then you show up. You know, there's the potential is endless. You know what I mean? But it's gotta have a foundation. If it ain't got a foundation, it ain't never gonna work.
Yep. Absolutely, I agree.
How dare you? I'm just saying, if I'm living on this bitch, we smoking. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you don't want to contact, don't be my neighbor. Plain and simple. Yep. Yeah, the constable would be in charge, you know, based on the amount of people. I would like it to be gated, but again, that comes down to, I mean, this is just common sense shit. A lot of people are asking, well, why do I have to pay so much? Because land ain't free, motherfucker. You know what I mean? If you're looking to buy a well, you're looking at $10,000. If you're looking to do a septic and all the piping that comes along with that, you're looking at $10,000, $15,000. If you're looking at buying 40 acres, you're looking at $70,000, $80,000. Ain't no one person going to do this and be like, okay, here, let me just pass it out. That's not how it works. If you want to actually to do the thing, you've got to pay for the land. You've got to pay for the infrastructure. It's plain and simple. There's no way around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey man, I'm liking this. Seriously, like I'm liking this. I mean, it's shaping up. It's turning into something, because I've always been like, nope, I'm gonna be the nomad. You know, just bartering and trading with mags and making it one day at a time. But
that's what's good about it, is you can still have that nomadic lifestyle, but still have that place to call home if you need that bug out.
Yeah.
But as long as you can be a nomad and still be a member of this community, which allows you access to other communities potentially
That's awesome.
worldwide.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
awesome.
And that's the kind of concept you've got to look at it as potential. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Well, and I think the whole thing about it, like I was talking before, you know, with the security part of it, you know, is, you know, when you're a nomad, you know, you've always got to worry about carrying everything with you or leaving it somewhere so that you can go out and do things and your stuff being stolen. You know, in a community like this, you know, people are not going to be able to, you know, you can leave your stuff there, you know, you can, you know,
Yeah.
it's, you don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? There's people there during the day. There's people that are going to be specific to certain things, you know, that, you know,
Peace of mind. Yeah.
Ghetto, I'm going to say no on that. I'm not one of those technology freaks. Where, oh, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, if the world is still functioning, I'm not going to tell people what they can and cannot have inside of their property. But there will be places to where, hey, in this area, there's no cell phones, there's no recording devices, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there has to be some kind of internet or, you know, Wi-Fi in some kind of capacity, even if it's just in the community building on one lap or one desktop. You know what I mean? There has to be some kind of internet access, because if you are to make money with this or to progress or to do YouTube videos from that community to put it out to make extra income, you're gonna need internet. When the world blows up, I can live with no internet. But as
well,
long as there's to make money from using the internet, you have to take advantage of every single option and opportunity.
absolutely. You know, I mean, my wife, her job is the internet. I mean, she, you know what I'm saying? That's how she makes her money. I mean, it's, you know, she's a teacher, and you know, a lot of this stuff, especially during these days with the pandemic, you know, you got a lot of these schools that, you know, have this happen, have that happen. People got to quarantine, yada yada. People still got to get their, you know, so you know, people's got to, you know, I mean, you know, they've still got to do their school work, so you know, it's done on the internet.
I ain't worried about no fucking feds hearing anything anybody's got to say. See, that's some of y'all are too paranoid. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You throwing out the baby with the bathwater. You know what I mean? Just on the potential that there's hearsay that somebody might be doing something illegal enough to make them actually give a fuck about recording you, as opposed to making potentially tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for the community on that same thing. You know what I'm saying? The risk versus reward does not weigh out at all. You know what I mean? As long as you've got the designated areas of like, no, this ain't nobody's damn business. You know, this ain't going on over here. You're fine.
You know,
you know what I mean?
well, the whole idea of self sustainability is just that. You know, first off, you grow and produce enough food, period, to sustain, you know, the whole community for anything that happens or goes on. Number two, you get into this and you start to build this, and you build it, you know, and grow this community up to, you know, maybe you know, you can you know, you can sell eggs, and you know, you can sell black, you know, there's so many. Oh God.
Let me make this clear right now. I don't give a fuck if somebody's got the shot or if they don't. Has no weight in anything we're doing here. I don't care if somebody's a Muslim, a Jew, a Buddhist, a Christian, a Satanist, or an atheist. Has nothing to do with what goes on in this community. None of that shit. Separation of church and state all day long. I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of Bible thumpers. I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of jihadists. I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of chanting sons of bitches. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's, there is no discrimination like that. None of that has any weight in anything. I'm just saying.
In other words, you do you, boo, and I'll do me. You know.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. And fuck them.
Yeah, if you're not breaking it, yeah, who cares what they think? If you're not breaking any laws, there's nothing. I mean, you know.
Oh, you want some other stuff, Arlen? I can't even mess with you right now. Exactly. Yeah, you want a religious community or a pure unvaxxed community, you go start that shit somewhere else. That ain't got no place here. None of that means a damn thing to me personally.
Good point, Joe.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. If the shit does hit the fan, most of the things that we talk about, we prepare for, if it does, it's like, okay, you just kind of shift gears and keep doing what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
The community is basically an adjustment for the culture shock if shift does happen.
Yeah.
You know,
it's one of those.
But like I said,
I mean, if there's a total economic collapse and everybody loses their jobs and all this shit happens, I mean, ain't nobody going to be paying taxes anyway. Ain't nobody going to be, because nobody's working. None of this shit is getting done anyway. So, you know, when you got a good community like that, you call a community meeting, you come in, you say, all right, you know, hey, all this has happened, but guess what? We got a whole damn flock of chickens over here. We got a whole herd of cows. You know, we got this. We got a big garden over here. We're going to be good. Yep. We all know we've all at least got 3 months worth of food. Yes. We're going to be good. We're going to work together. We're going to see this through. We're going to protect each other. We're going to take care of things, and we're going to live and survive.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's just.
Yeah. You got to be committed to the idea. If you're not committed to the idea, you're wasting everybody's time. It's not for you. If you want 3 acres and a plantation house with huge porches everywhere, you know, you want vast sprawling estate, this ain't the place for you. This is communal living. You're sharing shit. You're gonna see people from your yard. You know, that's just the way it is. Arliss, I hear you, man. I just ain't on that tonight, man. It's the wrong topic for that, bro. I hear you though.
Hey, Hutch doesn't play around.
Well, the thing about it is everybody's got to understand whatever the fuck's going to happen is going to happen, and you can go at it alone or you can go at it in a community with a bunch of people. I mean, it's not going to change anything as far as it goes. If shit hits the fan, if the bubble bursts and the balloon goes up and everybody's fucked, then everybody's fucked. And you're better off with a group of people that are like-minded and that are going to stick together, and you know, because they want their family to survive just like I want my family to survive, you know, and that's the whole point of it, you know. And if you want to lone wolf it, go lone wolf it, you know. I hope you got everything set up great, and you probably do, and you're probably going to survive, and good on you, you know.
That's right. Yeah, because you got to think, most of the people that are interested in this thing are the city folks. They don't want that 100% isolation. They want that same, 100 by 100 lot size that they would have if they lived in town. Like, oh, my yard's the exact same. Oh, my neighbors are the same distance, but there's not as many of them. You know what I mean? That's how you got to look at this. Yeah. Don't look at it as a country folk coming from the woods already with land, like, oh, I'll never do it. No shit. We got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying that's the problem about trying to figure something like this out, is there's so many people that want to talk and ask questions that, you know what I'm saying, focus on the one thing at a time and dial that shit in. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a foundation. If you're not going to work on the foundation, then there's no point in doing anything. I'm rambling.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, where I'm at right now, seriously, like, my neighbor over here, he's kind of set up. He's good with his supply and his preps. There's another guy across the street over here. He's pretty good. but everybody else, I have absolutely no idea. So when and if things pop off, one of my biggest fears and concerns, being and I'm in a decent neighborhood, is somebody burning down my damn house. You know what I mean? And then what? You know, everything's kind of out of the window. But in a community like this, it's much less of a chance of me getting burned out of my home because we're all going to be protecting. You know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You think I mean, especially in a community like this. I mean, hell, I would do it here at where I live now. You know, if I saw someone trying to burn my neighbor's house down, shit.
Yeah.
You know, and especially in a community like that where we're all together.
Yeah.
You know, somebody comes in, you know, with some dirt trying to be stupid, you know, and all of a sudden they look around and there's 10 some bitches standing there with guns and mad looks on their face like, hey bud, you just screwed up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, can you guarantee you've got that where you live now?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
The one thing.
Go ahead.
Well, the one thing you can guarantee, Josh, is that somebody will video it.
Yeah, right. My shit burning down. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know who has the ability to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, I don't know who has what and how are they going to respond to a threat if it does come down to that. So, I mean, I may run down and try to help them defend their stuff, but they might not even have the ability to come down and help me defend my stuff. You know, it's a lot to it, man. So when you know what the community is about, what they can and can't do, it's you know, it's a relief. Yeah.
Nice.
What?
Joe does the damn thing.
Yeah, no. Joe does not bullshit at all. Joe is gangster.
Right.
Well, see, that's the problem here is, you know, like right around the corner from me, there's 2 houses there that are rent houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know who lives in one of the rent houses? A couple of these people. I'm just gonna say it like this. There's a few people that live there that have, you know, pink hair and Hillary stickers.
Yeah.
You think that, you know, they're going to be the ones videoing your shit getting robbed or, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And probably saying, well, you deserved it anyway because, you know, you got an American flag out on your front lawn, you know.
Yeah, probably go viral.
Yeah, and so that's why I think it's, you know, I think the community thing is a great idea, and this is the whole point, you know, is like when me and Ghost were doing these things about, you know, the wargaming and stuff and talking about mags and, you know, people, you know, everywhere I go, people keep saying, hey, you know, how do you do this? How do you build a community? Well, this is how you do it. You got to start somewhere and you got to talk about these. You got to have some, you know, some things that you do, you know, that you understand, you know, it can't be a, you know.
Yeah.
Ohio, that's disability is along with religion and all the other bullshit. Hey, if you got no legs and no arms, you can still you know, you can do something. You can read stories to the kids, you know, everybody can do something. Everybody can do something. Whether you're a cook, whether you're a babysitter for people while they're out there working in the field, there's literally everybody will have it. There's nothing that can exclude anybody from anything like that.
It sounds so much better than what we have right now.
See, the trick is it works on a small scale. You know what I mean? That's the thing. When you're dealing with 5,000 people, the whole thing changes. When you're dealing with 50 people, 100 people, all this applies perfectly. You should have no issue. You know what I mean? It could run like a well-oiled machine. And that's the thing. You don't want to build freaking New York City size fucking, you know, communities. So that shouldn't be an issue to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, if it gets to where, you know, you start getting a lot of people and you've got a certain amount of property, and you got to, you know, you can, I mean, you can buy, you can start expanding out, you know, buying more property, you know, and
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If you've got the community fund, say you've got the 40 acres, but you want to expand, your neighbor's got 17 or 20 acres for sale next door. If you've got the community fund, everybody votes on it. Boom, you buy that chunk of land and you expand your community. You know, or if somebody wants to start a charter in a different state or a different county, like, hey, we've got the money to start another community. Then you could start another community from that one and do the same thing on and on and on. Yeah, Tiger, that would be see, that's what we said in the application process. Your age and your ability all comes into play. You know what I mean? That way, if you have a disability, we know from the beginning, and they can figure out where you go. Like if you're, obviously if you're 70 years old, we're not going to put you out there, chasing cows and things. You know what I mean? But if you're 50, we might. But when you turn 60 or 70, then we're like, okay, you just go sit your ass down in the garden somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, everything will, what I'm saying? Everything will be accommodated for, because it's for the betterment of the community as a whole. It don't make no sense to have 5 people over here who can't do the job. Like, I want this done now. You're just going to hinder yourself. You've got to be able to adjust for things like that, illnesses, etc.
Yep.
Agreed. Come on.
Right? Because you think there's still going to be, because you can even do jobs like, see, a lot of things nobody's mentioned it yet, but it's the black market system that works within the community itself. If you've got an old lady sewing club, then they can be like, hey, we will make blankets for your household or for you, et cetera, sew you something, all these, we'll make you crafts, a walking stick, crafts, all these different things. And you could just work within the community. Like, hey, we've got this that we've been working on over here, but we don't want it no more, some scrap or something. You're like, hey, I can make you a quilt if you give me that,
well,
that scrap wood you got laying in your backyard. You know what I mean? So there's what I'm saying, the possibilities are endless, man.
yeah, I mean, if you got someone that say is in a wheelchair and they're legit in a wheelchair, they can't get up and walk around, but they're hellacious at sewing, well, of course, we're that person at that time can say, hey, I'm gonna make blankets for this, I'm gonna do this, your clothing, whatever. That would be something that to me would be, that person, the cows and the chickens and the eggs and stuff, that person's going to eat, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because they're still doing stuff for the community.
Right. Crazy backyard chicken man, I understand what you're saying, but at some point you got to sit your old ass down. If you become a liability and you injure yourself trying to show your ass, you ain't doing nothing but hurting the community. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, you got to be like, shit, we're taking your license, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just a responsibility thing. It makes no sense to have some old man out there throw his back out, and we got to spend that extra amount of time in medical attention, loss of work. It's Ohio. See, that's something that would have to be fine tuned. But I wonder that myself. But that's a question that we're definitely going to have to fine tune before it's all said and done with. Like, I've got some ideas on it, but there's so many possibilities on where to take that. Hey, Corn Pop.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, things like that. There's going to have to be, allowances and so forth that, of certain people. I mean, the whole point of it is that you still got to go through a process to even be able to get into this community. So once so you're, and also you already went to get into the community, you have already agreed upon this is a certain amount of stuff that you have to do. You see what I'm getting at? So a van lifer or a nomad, if they wanted to have a place as such, you know, that they could fall back on, then they're going to have to understand that to be able to get in there, they've already had to agree to a certain amount of work and stuff.
I've got that in the bylaws that even part-time residents must require a certain, you know, a certain job to be done or a certain amount of work hours per year to maintain good standing. You know what I mean? So like you can't buy it and be like, okay, I'm not going to be there for 5 years. You've got to come there at least once a year and do your work.
You know,
otherwise, I'm saying you got to go.
And Hutch, you know, a lot of people shouldn't have a problem with this because most deer camps have that requirement. You know, my buddy's got a deer camp down south, big deer camp, got a lot of members, you know, because they got a lot of land. They have to go down there a certain number of weekends. You know, it's agreed upon when you pay your membership dues, and if you don't, it costs you extra money. Gotcha. You know, and you could be, you know, looked upon as being kicked out the next year. You know, if you keep coming up with excuse, well, I can't come down there. That, you know, you've got certain amounts of stuff you have to do. You know, our particular deer camp, we don't really have any of that stuff because it's only 200 acres, and you know, there's only actually 3 of us that are members now. You know, and me and my cuz, you know, we built the little cabin up there. We, you know, me and my cuz, we go up there and, you know, clear the lanes and do stuff. We just get together and do it, you know, because it makes it easier on us. So, but
and see, that's like a lot of the I'll say concerns, but a lot of complaints and nagging that I've been having when I first brought this up was, well, who's going to do the work? How are you going to get people to do this? Well, I mean, plain and simple. If it's in Missouri, I'll go do that shit. I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm involved in it, I'm going to do it anyway. And it's one of those things where you hope that some people will volunteer. Like they've got anybody's ever watched the earth ships being built, they, you know, I don't know how the logistics of it would work, but it's potential to where, hey, we're going to set up the infrastructure. We've got the land. We've got the guidelines. We know what we want to do. Now we've got the land and we're getting ready to set up the infrastructure. You could charge people so much to come and help you clear land and build lots and do these different things as a teaching lesson for them to take home. Or, you know, a volunteer process where people come in and say, hey, you know, we want to help out just to learn this skill or just to come camping for a week and maybe learn this, and we'll help you raise a barn or put up a fence. You know what I mean? But so we're going to be volunteer. Like myself, I'd be there all the time just because I love doing that shit. You know what I mean? And I know
that whole question of how would you get people to actually do stuff? Well, I mean, how you get people to do stuff is, you know, they've already paid a down payment to rent that place and you know, invested something in it, and they've already agreed to the bylaws of, you know, if you are an unproductive member, you know, it will be met upon, you know, by council and such, and by people, and, you know, you don't do the work, you get, you know,
yeah,
people are going to be like, hey, you need to get this son of a bitch out of here. So, I mean, that's how you get people to work. You either work or you leave, you know, I mean,
that's it.
Yeah. And I think it was Sophia and the stars here both. Yeah, personalities is going to be like, it's going to be some backbreaking work. It's going to be some days to where you're like, your body is just going to be like, fuck you. But that is nothing. You'll actually grow to love that kind of shit. The personality clashes are going to be the biggest issue by and far, hands down. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where the bylaws and the constable come in. You know what I mean? If it comes to a certain point where, like, there's some people in this chat, like, if I seen you, I'd slap you just because I don't like you. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, but it's just that thing, but it's common sense. Like, we know we're here for a goal. I don't like you, so I'm going to stay over here. But if it comes to the point to where I got to let you know every 5 minutes that I don't like you, then that falls under the harassment thing, to where you could be subject to lose your membership. You like, just shut your mouth. You don't like him, leave him alone. You know what I mean? So that's how that's going to have to come into play there. I mean, you're going to have your arguments and disputes, especially. I mean, you get 5 or 6 dudes sitting around a campfire at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're going to have people talking shit, getting in their feelings. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? That's why you've got that backup of the bylaws and the constable, to where if it gets out of hand, then okay, either one of you or both of you's got to go. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the community, not the person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Well, I think that a lot of people need to understand that not everybody's going to get along. I mean, it's just the way it is, and you know. But if you're buying into this idea, you know, it's a, you know, like, I listen to heavy metal music and rap. I mean, that's just me. I'll listen to a little bit of country, but it's got to be like the real old school. I can't stand that new country shit. I can't stand it. I hate it. I think it's stupid. I won't listen to it. You know, give me some old Waylon or Willie or something like that. I can listen to that. Otherwise, I'm just being honest with you, man. I like heavy metal and I like rap music, and that's what I listen to. You know, but you know, somebody next door to me, you know, may not like that. You know, they may be, you know, there ain't but 2 kinds of music. That's country and western. You know,
right?
And
Damn right.
Okay, well, you know, listen to your country and western, and I'll listen to my heavy metal and rap, but we still got the same goal in mind. Yeah. You know, we want to survive. So not everybody is gonna, you know, not everybody is all exactly the same. You know, I've used this before. I'm gonna use this again now. Take football, and the reason why I want to bring up football, because I helped teach. I was a defensive coach for the Pee Wee team for 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. So let's take football. Both teams there are to win the game, right? Play the game to win. So when you're going down the field, you may have 10 different ways of getting down the field. You know what I'm saying? You've got pass plays and run plays. You've got options. You know, so the point of it is that it's all about getting to that goal line.
Yeah.
You know, so when you have that same mindset, you have to understand that, you know, I drive a Ford truck. You know, some people hate Fords. You know, some people, you know, you know, you might like Chevrolets. Okay, well, fine. You know, we can have our little jokes about it and stuff, but that doesn't change the fact that, you know, we both want to live and we both want to survive and do what's best for our families. You know, that's kind of, you know, where you're going to have to take that understanding, you know, of just because we don't really jive on some certain things, that doesn't mean that we don't jive on the end goal.
Right.
And we need to learn to accept that each person is different.
And I know this is a bad segue, but I saw Ghetto's name and it made me think sexuality has no weight in this thing either. If you got a lesbian couple or a gay couple that want to be a part of this community, if they're pulling their weight, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? There's no bigotry at all. I just saw Ghetto's name and I instantly thought gay couple. So I had to throw that out there.
Yeah. Well, but no, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, why does it? What up, Keith? You know, that's the whole point, is why should it matter? We need to put petty things like that aside. You know, you have your own beliefs and I have my own beliefs. It doesn't matter. You know, each individual person can be your individual person. You can do what you want, you know, think how you want, but your end goal still has to be the same thing as, hey, look, we want certain, what is it?
Sorry, Backwood.
Oh, I see. Yeah. you know, I really wouldn't care if the couple was, that lived next door to me was gay or not. It wouldn't matter to me as long as they're doing their work and taking care of the community and not out videoing my house burning down, instead, you know, handling business. I'm cool with it, man. You know,
I had to make that clear because I know there's a lot of zealots in this community, and I just want to nip that in the bud to begin with. You know what I mean? Because we got some crazy, if you took the vax, I hope you die, I'll never talk to you. You know what I mean? I don't want to be part of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're a Baptist and I'm a Pentecostal. I don't want no part of that shit. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
You know, and if there's, let's say 5 of the community members are big time Christians, they want to hold a little church service in somebody's house or whatever, go for it. You know, hell, if y'all are speaking the word, I'm probably gonna show up anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you know, I mean, people got to understand it. People are still going to be people. I mean, it's not a thing to where someone's saying, well, you've got to only live a Christian lifestyle or this lifestyle or that lifestyle. No, you got to live the lifestyle of prepping.
Yeah. Yes.
It's got to be where, you know, your lifestyle is survival. It's homesteading. It's prepping. It's survival. It's understanding that, you know, just like here when we had the snow apocalypse, Josh, down there in Texas.
Yes.
Shit went bad for a minute, didn't it?
Sure did.
What if it didn't stop?
Hey man, I was ready, but I hear what you're saying. It would have got retarded out here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's what it's all about. You know, nobody cares. I don't care if the person's black or if the person is gay or if the person is white or the person is a Mexican. Who cares? Or that person's a Christian. We all got the same idea. We all got the same belief. You know what I'm saying? We want to survive and we want to make our community safe where, you know what? My freaking kids can go outside and play. Your kids can go outside and play. You know, we ain't got to worry about shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit hits the fan, and guess what? We're all right there in the community. We just say, hey, let's have a meeting and discuss what we're doing now. You know?
Yeah, it's all good.
Handle this.
The way it's a lifestyle. You're already established. There's no confusion. There's no, oh my God, we're all gonna die. Like, nope, we're good. We just keep doing what we've been doing. You know what I mean? It's training. We got a pilgrim sighting.
Yeah. It's only for about 5 minutes. His phone will die.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of which, I gotta get back to I gotta paperwork.
Yeah, we're at 2 hours. We're just over 2 hours. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it. Guys, I appreciate every one of y'all in chat for hanging out and doing this stuff. Next Thursday, we will be getting into some more of it. And, you know, keep playing with things. Josh, Backwoods, appreciate y'all.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Seriously, this is really like it's changing my thoughts on mags. No more Negan, Walking Dead. It's all, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna turn on me and kill me and eat me. It's changing some of my thoughts, man. So I really appreciate this. Seriously.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
I appreciate it too. I mean, this is you know, the questions that keep being asked. How do I do a mag? What do I do? How do I get a community started? Well, this is how you do it. You sit down and you talk about stuff, and you understand that you're not going to get it right the first time. The second time, you know, it may take a little while, but you've got to start somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
And this is how you do it. You sit down and have a conversation about it. You write out stuff like Hutch did, you know, and questions and you know, you kind of get the thoughts of people, and that's how you build a mag.
Yeah. Hutch, when are we gonna get back to this, man? What's the next? What are we talking about next?
Next Thursday, I'm not gonna have you two. I gotta kick you off. I gotta rotate it. But I'm gonna have AJ next week, and I've got to reach out to somebody else.
Okay.
And we're gonna go. We're gonna talk about the require. What do you like once you've got the land? What comes next? What needs to be done first? How to set it up? Priorities. So we'll be getting into that next Thursday at whatever time I started this. So next Thursday, I've already got it set up.
Yeah, 7:05.
Yeah, 7:05
in the time zone that matters.
Yeah, the only time zone that matters is Central Time Zone.
That's it. That's the only one.
Like I'm going to have both of you guys on here again because it's probably going to be 5 or 6 of these things. You know what I mean? It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be time. So
I'll be in the chat if I'm not up on the panel. I'll be in the chat. Hell yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I'll be here.
Appreciate all y'all. Deuces.